Welcome, anime lady fans. How you guys doing? We're here to do a Boruto Naruto Next Generation Chapter 56 review. And as always, LegendDVash, SamtheMangaMan, and down below is the king of games, Rifa himself. How we all doing here?
Doing great. How are you?
Doing great. Boruto chapter and super chapter came out this day. So it's definitely an interesting turn of events because now that Kishimoto's fully head on, it's like, yo, what the fuck are you gonna be doing now?
I mean, yeah, and you can tell too. Like you can tell Kishimoto's back. And I mean it's not bad, but I'm also like, oh, what the hell he doing? You know?
Yeah, it's you're not too sure if you can trust them fully just yet, because right now when you're introducing the new characters and your new plot holes and stuff, it's.
But you know what's funny about this character? He basically maimed them last chapter, but you did not see Naruto and Sasuke, period, in this chapter whatsoever. And then they even go on to say, yeah, we have to level up now. We can't rely on them no more. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, because
dang, I was like, okay, that's how you feel. All right.
Yeah, because even Sour and them even said it. They said like we do not have Karama, so like, and they want to keep it shush away from people. But it's like, is this the best idea to not tell people that, yeah, the strongest dude in the whole village, aka the seventh Hokage, lost his strongest thing inside him?
Yeah, don't do. Yeah. I mean, not only that, that's like a thing of national security. People find out that their Hokage is not strong. Like him being Hokage was what was keeping people away from attacking the village.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, if people found that out, they'd be like, oh shit, well, prime for the picking, baby. You know, and so they come in and take it out. So I'm sure that's why they want to keep that. Like that's a top secret.
It's also the whole panic. Like they said it themselves, like they can't have the whole entire village panic and worry, like all the other stuff, that sort of thing.
I mean, and they also, so they have that now, and they also have like, oh hey, yeah, Boruto is going to get rewrote by this god and destroy everything. Oh no. So
and plus, do you think, like on the topic of Naruto and Sasuke, do you think they're gonna have their own training? Like, do you think like even Abo Shikamaru and plus Amado said it, like we cannot go back into the dimension?
Kishimoto is gonna just kind of keep them on the sideline. He did that for a reason,
which I have no problem.
So now it's just about to be Kawaki and Boruto and in their team, leveling up and getting better at what they do. So, and like in a way, I'm excited, but it was like, okay. Also, it's like, well, congratulations, Naruto. You're now officially a background character.
You got demoted.
Literally.
He literally did.
Demoted immediately.
He literally did. And like, I don't feel bad, but as people need to understand, this is called Boruto the Naruto Next Generations, not called Naruto the Next Generation. Like this is Boruto's story and it's succeed, but Naruto was sooner or later was gonna become the background character or like the side character.
I mean, he just had to like do it in such a way that like you knew that they were sidelined, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I mean, Sasuke's still effective. Let's be real. Yeah, I guess I'm curious to see because I mean, a lot of people will say, well, Naruto still has Sage Mode, which is powerful. Don't get me wrong, it's very powerful. He relied on it a lot to do a lot of damage to a lot of different enemies when he couldn't use Kurama to fight them. So,
but the reason Sage Mode was so strong was because of Kurama's chakra of infinity.
Really?
That's what he could. Yeah. Well,
I thought it was because I thought Sage Mode pulls in chakra from like the environment. Yeah, and that's what made that so strong.
But thing is, Sage Mode he can only use one time. But remember that he had 3 clones back over there is because of how much infinite chakra he used from the Tails mode. So he could do it for a short amount of time.
We'll see how much of that we'll see. I bet it's longer than that. I
now
think so.
Probably is different because now that he's older and knows more about his own chakra, so maybe, and we'll see. But also what you said about Sasuke still being part of the story, because Sasuke is the mentor sensei of our boy Boruto, but Naruto is the sensei of Kawaki. So I'm curious to know, are we going to see the training of both of them as well? Because there are the mentors, the sensei, because our book.
I mean, yeah, they're going to find somebody else to train them.
It's more like a different, more like not Naruto and Sasuke himself, but they're more likely to find.
Is this where they reintroduce Kakashi?
We don't know. Because like for Kawaki, you see Naruto as like a father figure mostly than a mentor, really.
I mean, both. I'd say both.
I'd say it's both, but I feel like it's not that Naruto is like weaker or anything. It's just more like in like not be able to teach Kawaki. It's more about like what other skills can you teach Kawaki, not just sticking with it.
Naruto is now like the regular level of a regular ninja from that village now, which I'm like, I mean, hey, that's fine because most of those ninja are actually pretty strong. So
yeah,
that's still fine. But I'm sure he's still Hokage level. Like let's be real. I don't think he would completely depower Naruto, the Hokage. At least I'd hope not, because I think that's hopefully to bring up that Naruto was more than just Kurama's power. It's also Naruto has his own abilities that he learned over time. That's what I'm really hoping so.
Yeah, it's gonna be about experience, but then sucks to suck. Team 7 is they can't go on missions.
Yeah, because Boruto can't go on missions. I mean, they can still get stronger. They just can't take the missions that they do to rank up. You know, because that's why they do the missions. They do the missions to help people and also to rank up. And I get it, but I thought it was weird that they're like taking him on this press tour to like, you know, keep him in sight, but like out of trouble. I'm like, that's so weird. But
that's weird.
I get it, because like make him be the whole face of the entire village. Make him he's also a stronger threat, just like his father.
Right. Like, I'm just like, I thought that was strange because I'm like, well, now you're parading him in front of all these people. Somebody's bound to notice something.
Yeah, and also like, how do they know what exactly happened when it's literally inside a whole different dimension? Like, there's no camera being hidden knowing what happened.
They told him.
But at the same time, what is it that? Why couldn't you just say that Naruto did the saving? Like, why couldn't Naruto did the whole propaganda? Like, why did Boruto need to be like?
Because I don't think that Naruto could be in public right now. Is what it sounds like. It might be too weak to be in public currently.
Yeah, he probably is weak
because remember, he probably don't heal as fast now.
You probably have to notice, like, maybe there weren't as many shadow clones that he used to have anymore, too.
Yeah, that's very true. Because he always used to be in every news and everything. Because he had clones doing this now. He can only, instead of doing 100,000 clones, he can only probably do 50 to 100 now, as like, you know, max.
I mean, I can't put a number on. I mean, we'll see. Yeah. I'm sure they'll explain it to us in like vivid detail at some point, like what he can do now, so that when people stop speculating about it. But I think he also just wants people to focus on Boruto. Period. So I'm curious to see. The one thing that I really liked from this chapter is what Kawaki brought to Boruto in terms of what he can do now,
that's perfect.
Which is to create his own vessel.
And he brought up code.
How code came to be.
Yeah, he brought up code too. Which I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. But they said, so just kind of jump ahead a little bit. Amato said something about code being one of his cyborgs essentially that he created, but it was the most powerful one. You know, I'm like,
yeah, that was like plot hole, fucking plot hole.
I was like, come on, man. Sorry, don't forget. Jigen was the strongest, but actually the cyborg that I made was the strongest, but we made him weaker so Jigen could be the strongest. And I'm like,
stupid plot hole. Like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing, Kishimoto? You can write better. You can write better than this.
You didn't even have to tell us that. Like, they literally could have found that out when they were fighting. Like, oh wow, he's way stronger than Jigen. And then I'm just.
And then he had to make examples. Like, he makes examples. He's stronger than Boro. He's stronger than him. It's like,
oh my God,
why do you even need these? Like, exactly. Like, why do you need to make this example, especially when this guy is supposed to be the whole
now? He was technically supposed to be the weakest compared to like the way it was shown us before.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't take the karma. He had this weird white karma, which I hope is going to look super cool animated, by the way, because it did look pretty clean in these panels when Code was using it. I thought it looked pretty. I was like, that's going to look pretty sick. But I'm like, all right, well, thank you for ruining that for us. But then Amato goes on to say, oh yeah, I had a whole bunch of these really strong cyborgs that I hope to kill him with one day. And
I'm like, okay, Dr. Jiro, okay.
Literally
he's Dr. Jiro.
And I was like, oh, okay, so we're starting the Android saga now. All right, cool. And then they literally, Code is going to wake up one of the androids that he thought got decommissioned. I'm like, this is literally the Android saga.
I need to kill Goku.
This is literally, my directive is to kill Naruto. That's what's about to happen.
When Sam sent this in the Discord, he said, "Did like Android Saga?" I'm like, I'm not gonna read this. And then when I was reading, I was like, "Oh, so this is what Sam said, Android Saga." Okay, I see what you meant, my guy. So I was like, more not let down. I was more disappointed. I was like, but like I get it that you guys are on the same Shonen Jump stairs and everything, but people make fun of Black Clover having Shonen tropes doing Shonen tropes, but then you're doing a Shonen trope from a series that. Was airing.
So one thing I want to, in my personal opinion, Shonen tropes are fine because they are in what magazine? Shonen Jump.
That's very true.
It's fine to have shonen tropes. I get people who are like, oh man, I don't like this because it's got shonen tropes. Then what are you reading?
Yeah, right.
Come on now. All right. But
another thing is Kishimoto had to add another Hinata into this group too, which is the science girl likes sport. Like, is this also another of your thing? Like, yeah, I gotta add this into this. Like, you didn't really need to.
She's not
you
important.
Honestly,
why couldn't you just focus on Sarada and Boruto?
She's just very smart in a medical sort of way in technology, right? Really? So you have to combine the whole Hinata and Sakura kind of thing. We don't care about that. Just move on.
I was like, okay, whatever. And then, so back to what Kawaki in talking about code, like when he said that, oh, Boruto, you should have most of their powers now, made a lot of sense. And it's like, you could create your own vessel, which got me thinking, well, what if he does make Kawaki his vessel?
And then that will sync and link things from what was on the first chapter. But then it gets very confusing. How do they have both karma?
Yeah.
But then it makes sense.
Exactly. But it makes sense because, like Momoshiki would be able to use that if he's just taking over his body, right? He didn't have to like completely transform it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's why Boruto still has the karma because he could control it because Momoshiki went inside Kawaki and Kawaki couldn't control it.
What if he does like a reverse? A reverse card where like he makes Kawaki his vessel, and Momoshiki's like, aha, and then he takes Boruto's vessel and uses it against him, and he becomes Kawaki, and Boruto remains Boruto. I can see some bull happening like that.
It's very
confusing. It's possible
because I actually thought like they're gonna use code as the vessel or something like that for Momoshiki, or to use code for Boruto's vessel?
Maybe.
I was so confused of what they were trying to explain.
I still think
exactly.
There's still a part of me that thinks that like whole like first like scene is like a red herring and like it's not actually going to happen. Who knows? Like I feel like a lot of people are gonna be disappointed, but I feel like it's just they put it out there to like keep us watching, keep us reading till we get to that point, and it never happens.
No lie. I was thinking with WandaVision, the boat of thesis. It's like, is he still Boruto if he goes to this vessel? Is he still Momoshiki go to that vessel? I mean, I guess.
I mean, technically,
like who's the real Boruto?
Yeah.
The boat of thesis is right here.
So
like who is the real Boruto? Who's the fake Boruto?
I have a feeling that Kishimoto's gonna do some really weird stuff,
or they're
like
both
some
Boruto.
really weird stuff to make this.
But speaking
happen.
about
Like,
weird,
okay.
How do you guys feel about the ending with Code coming into the interesting character?
His ability is interesting for sure.
Yeah, it looks like it's physically based, so it's like whatever is from him that he like, whatever for him that he's connected to that he like puts out there, he can warp in and out of. Which I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
It seems like whatever he slashes or claws with his arms, it makes the whole line almost like a belt kind of thing.
He threw those bands out there. With his ability, like he created those bands, and then he can move in and out of whatever those bands are touching.
Yeah. When we set this off screen, it reminds me of Hunter x Hunter with Lucio.
Leorio's like weird portal punch thing that we saw one time,
kind of thing.
For me,
but then it doesn't directly like goes through their entire body. How Code kills them is after he has the claws out, he cut off the neck.
Basically he put a band on that guy, then stuck his hand through, and I was like, well, that was actually kind of like a waste. Like, was that supposed to be cool? Okay,
that sounds kind of lame. I thought you literally punctured through, like you literally go through their heart or something like that.
For me, Ray, it kind of reminded me of.
So I was like, okay, interesting.
For me, kind of remind me of our boy Zoro from Black Clover, with his trap magic in a way.
Yeah, I was thinking not really.
Not as well with the shadow magic as well, so it could work both.
Well, like more shadow stuff, yeah. So I was like, yeah, it seems kind of like that.
So like overall,
but I'm like,
overall, this chapter gives a lot of possibilities and interesting plot points of where it could go with storylines. Like it's playing with the seeds of where it could go to.
I would say that it was one of the, but I also feel like it was one of the weaker chapters we've gotten recently.
I agree, because like even though they add a little bit more to karma, where karma is not only just for Otsutsuki's, the karma in itself can choose its host and whatnot that could use its abilities, because that's what Kawaki said. Like, I became the successor host, but Code, he wasn't fully successful for Shigen, or I'm sorry, Shiki,
Mhm.
was it for Shiki?
Mhm.
But he still got the karma in his body, where he could still use his karma,
which
without
is
having a
weird.
host.
So, by the way, just a quick thing. The limiter that Amato talked about for code. Do you think that that's what Otsutsuki like did? He lifted that limiter when he went to talk to him, like through his like final like parting words. Do you think that's what he was doing to him?
I believe so.
Unless it's like speech passcode kind of thing, where
because he was like, oh, only I could do that, and I'm like, you sure about that, bro? So I'm like, all right, we'll see. But yeah, so then we saw this new android. I don't remember her name, but apparently she knows everything, so this will be interesting. I'm like, well, what does this other cyborg know, and how many other ones are left?
It's Android 18.
Yeah. I'm curious. She looking like Miss Frizzle with her, universe skirt. So we'll see what that's all about. I'm like, I'm not. I would be lying if I said I wasn't curious about what Kishimoto's got planned for this. It's just that now that it's a monthly and Kishimoto's on it, I'm like, I don't know.
It's very confusing. It's just
if there's somebody bold in the series to see who they could fall in love with, but the only person that could pop up that could fall in love with an android is like maybe my guy, or maybe Kakashi could fall in love with some type of android. That would be very
Konohamaru.
I think Konohamaru, but like I think he could find a girl in the village, because I don't think he's like that useless. Wait, never mind, he is kind of useless.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. I was about to say, all right, bro.
And it just so happened that these killer androids are in Boros' cult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
Just so again, it's like the plot holes. Like
so, then that guy was like, because they didn't know that Boro was dead. They also didn't know that Tsuki was dead. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, well, who else is out there just kind of hanging in the wind, like waiting for them to do something?
It's very interesting how it's going to lead up with the characters and who's going to lead up to chapter 57 next month, because it's definitely going to be interesting. And it's not, I feel the same way like Ray is. It's like when before it was monthly chapters, I was more excited and more theorizing, here with the guys. But now once Kishimoto the one doing it, like I'm more like, what the fuck you gonna do, my guy? Like, where is
like? I almost would have rather him be writing it on a weekly basis. I'll be very honest. Mm-hmm. Like he just seems like his format is more fit to a weekly like publication.
He probably could be writing it, but it depends on the art.
I think this entire chapter could have been like entirely summarized within 20 pages. It's just,
it could have been. Like
you just added just more text to it and like simple panels and work onto it. We didn't really need to see the rest of Team 7 or the rest of the whole Konoha students.
Yeah, we didn't need to see them talking.
We didn't really need to see that. We didn't really need Boruto in the whole interview kind of thing.
I wish we had got more of him and Kawaki talking up on the monument.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's more depends on where it's going. But the cover page was adorable. She asked Kawaki like, hey, I want to ask you more questions about the guy I fell in love with and everything. And she said, oh, it's not that obvious. Like, girl, everyone knows that you're in love with Boruto.
Again, that was like it's Kishimoto adding another Hinata in the story.
Again, I was like, this isn't, I don't care.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, like
you see how bad you didn't. You see how bad you didn't make us care about Hinata. Like,
for real,
exactly. Like, do you really need us? Do you really need to add this?
But thing is, that's why he's including this with Kawaki and plus Amato storyline, so she could become Amato's assistant. But even Kawaki said like, you never needed an assistant before, so why do you need it now? But then they try to save the story in that plot, saying that we're gonna need somebody else to know this type of scientific type of tool details and knowledge. So it makes sense, but at the same time, we all said we don't really care about her because she's not that been useful.
In all other words, Kawaki says the same thing where we were all thinking, you're not necessary. Why are you still here? And you have to spend a couple pages just to explain herself to be here. It's just, you don't need this.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, it wasn't as good as some of the other chapters we had recently. This was kind of like a low point, and I hope that it picks up again. I mean, Code seems like an interesting character. I hope they don't just waste him as like I'm so much stronger than the last guy that you fought. I really hope not. Like, I wanted to be way more interesting than that.
Even only limit himself because of his loyalty to Otsutsuki's, and they treated him as gods. My ass. My ass.
Let me see more. Let me see more of this, please. Like I want them to expand upon this in these cyborgs and flesh them out, literally.
I mean,
Sam,
we
do you
went
have any
from
positive thoughts about it?
We went from aliens to now android cyborgs.
Positive thoughts. I still like Kawaki, so that's good.
I do like Kawaki though. Like
yeah.
he's not entirely human. He is a clone, and they were able to fix up his hand and arm.
Yeah, exactly. He's got his arm. Cool. He's got his arm back. I'm like, okay, good.
You know, if you think about it, Dragon Ball, Frieza, aliens, and the next saga was androids.
Come on, Trunks. Futuristic in the past.
Oh no, that scene is future Boruto.
Oh no.
You know what's funny? I saw a crazy theory this past week on something Reddit or Twitter saying that Amado is a Shikamaru from the future because looks like they smoke and have the same beard because also looks like Asuma. That's
no, he's Dr. Jiro. He's Dr. Jiro. He kind of made himself Dr. Jiro right here in this entire chapter.
And one more thing, I want to know what this weird like awkwardness between Amado and Kawaki is. Like, why he keeps like wanting to say something. He hasn't said it for like 3 chapters.
Pausing so many times. It's like,
bro,
why are you pausing? Just say the shit.
Like, what is
like stop. Just be like,
spit it out.
You know, you've been expecting. You've been giving him a checkup for weeks, and yet you still do not like speak up. And you seem to be the guy that always speaks up and stuff. My man literally just said like, oh yeah, you better not let code get to me, or else I'm gonna release his limiters and codes. As I'm not a good student. Like, bro, really?
He's like, if he tortures me, I'm giving it up. And I'm like, okay, fair.
Like, to a guy who was so easily open, yeah, you better protect me because I'm gonna squeal. To a guy where I'm gonna hold on to this information for myself. So it's Kawaki because of Kawaki's not.
So I'm curious. I saw somebody online. I was like, maybe it's just as simple as that. You know, Amado thinks that Kawaki's his son. You know, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Sure, you help him create him.
Do you treat that to your other androids?
I guess.
Do you treat that to the other androids that you created? Do you treat that to code? Do you treat
Kawaki's special for some specific reason. So yeah, I don't know.
One more thing, the whole 80%. Yeah, I know we're both in the 80% of the whole karma, but I got rid of my Otsutsuki. You still haven't. Does that mean Boruto is going to be slightly stronger than Kawaki later on?
Yes. Yeah. If the whole, like in my opinion, yes. If it sticks around.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna happen
because he still technically is being overridden. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder, is Kawaki gonna learn some move from Naruto's like Sage Mode and everything, since Boruto has Rasengan, Sarada has, and
I swear if he learns Rasengan, I'm gonna be so mad.
I was gonna say that, but like I hope it doesn't. That's why I hope it gets Sage Mode, because it's better that Naruto has Rasengan, Sarada has Chidori, then hopefully Kawaki, because you know how bad.
I guess we have to find out what
you know what I actually see now, like a teacher that can help Kawaki, since Kawaki can use earth and use wood.
It's the wood guy.
Yamato. Use Yamato.
Yeah. He could come back from the story, and I don't think he should have aged.
Yamato, bring him back.
And I don't think he has aged, since he kind of looks the same.
Because he had the cells from one of the
first Hokage. Yes, he's kind of clone as well, so he should have aged. You know, he could help him out. So bring back a fan favorite. Not fan favorite.
Hey, we can really relate. We were both kind of clones. We both can use wood jutsu. We can share some. I hope I
could train you. Yeah, so this will be a nice reunion. Nice theory on that, Sam. Yep. So guys, let's know what you guys thought about it in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, get us a 10K, because we also here need to feed our family. We need to feed our kids. Wait, we don't have kids. We need to feed our pets. So help us out here, guys. Subscribe, press the notification, and every time. See you guys in the next one.
Peace.